3, 2, 1. And we're live.
And we're live. The Attic.
Episode 2. Round 2.
It's actually the next episode. And I'm very tempted to say... Nah. It's the one and only D-O-double-G.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
We just did.
The only D-O-double-G I like is the road dog Jesse James from WWF Wrestling. If anyone remembers that, who's a super geek like I am. Failing that, episode 2.
It's glad to be here again.
Glad to be here, overwhelmed by the support that we've had since last week.
Yes, I think I think we should take some time out to say thank you to all the listeners, all the support, all the subscribers. Got more than 5?
Yeah. We got 6 times 5, which is 30. I know, show off.
Impressive. But you know what? I actually wanted to comment. I like the look you've gone for today. You've gone for the whole casual vibe. Yeah,
it's for Riaz Khan.
Is it really?
No.
Riaz?
Riaz, I bought this stuff over the past 2 days to impress you on the vlogcast. No. It's, I like this kind of gear. So, yeah, sometimes I pull it out.
Shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, so a big thank you and a shout out to Kyle. A guy commented on our comment section, literally one of the first people to comment.
Yes.
And just going back slightly, thank you to all the people who have commented and shared and subscribed, and really appreciate your support and your comments and your likes and everything else. Please keep them coming.
Thank you.
And keep your constructive feedback coming as well. And if you want to troll us, hey, we like a hater because that means we're doing well. And yes, it's YouTube, isn't it? It's what you expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But just going back to Kyle Monroe, hope he doesn't mind us sharing his second name. I don't think so, because he shared his second name. So
just don't mention the address he lives at.
Yeah, we'll come to that kind of topic later. And don't worry, Kyle. We don't know where you live. We're making a joke about a topic that we'll discuss later, so it's okay, mate. I promise you. But thank you. What I wanted to say is thank you to Kyle. I'm not sure where you're from. If you're from Leicester or you've heard this further afield, it'd be great to know. Feel free to comment on this podcast. Vlogcast. Yeah, so Kyle put something in the comments section to say, Imran, have you always been Muslim? We'd like to hear your story. Be good to know kind of thing. So appreciate that. And then word of mouth, I went into the barbers on the weekend, and all the people that are in the barbers at that point happened to have seen the podcast.
That makes you sound super famous.
I know it makes us sound super famous, but it's not. It's just it happened to be people that we are mutually friends with.
All right, okay.
And then they were asking, even though they've known me for years, what's your big convert story? So we thought, why doesn't Ramiz interview me?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, excellent.
Let's do it. Okay, so question number 1. By the way, I haven't prepared any questions, so a lot of this is going to be a freestyle, but that's fine. We want to keep it natural.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Disclaimer. I think people are going to be a bit disappointed with your story.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah. No disrespect.
None taken.
Okay.
In comparison to other convert stories you might have seen, depends how entertained you are by them.
Okay. So question number 1. Were you born Muslim?
So that's probably the most interesting question of them all.
Yes.
And a teaser as to what our title for this week's episode will be.
Oh, yes.
But let's not let that slip just yet.
No.
Well, technically, when they see this, the title will already be on there, so it probably won't make any difference. But
that's fine.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm confusing myself. Anyway, so my mother is Pakistani. I say she's Pakistani. She moved here when she was about 5-6 years old, so she's British citizen, but she was born in Pakistan.
Okay.
She moved here with her parents, like a lot of people did at that time in the 60s.
Yep.
And my father is born and bred Leicester.
Okay.
With a bit of Scottish heritage somewhere, hence the ginger hair. Yeah. So father's born and bred, lived in Leicester all his life. Very, very working class. Very poor background, to be honest. Okay. And then my mother, obviously Pakistan, left that part of the world, like a lot of people, for a new future.
Sure.
So mother and father met, and I didn't just come about. They got married, and you know the rest of the story.
Sure.
They had me, And my mum's not really necessarily like overly religious. But my mum's, obviously, it's my mother. She's a very good person.
Of course.
Instilled a lot of good morals in me, as did my father. But basically, I wasn't born Muslim in the traditional sense that people might say they were born Muslim.
Right.
Like, I wasn't necessarily really brought up Muslim at all.
Okay.
In that, I didn't go mosque as a little kid. I wasn't like in a house.
You missed out.
Yeah, I know.
You missed out, man.
Yeah.
On the 12-hour days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you missed out.
Exactly. Didn't do any of those things. Wasn't really taught about Islam as a kid as such.
Sure.
So no, not really a born Muslim. Didn't pray or anything. Didn't have people around me who were like praying and stuff like this.
Okay.
Wasn't necessarily from a practicing household, you could say.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's. So what was your question? Was I born Muslim?
Yes.
In a nutshell, no.
Okay.
But here's an interesting story, and I suppose like whatever's meant to be will be meant to be, regardless. So I grew up on like a white working class estate.
Okay.
Right. Mother's always worked, always had a good job, but that's kind of where I grew up. Father and mother separated from a young age.
Okay.
But still, in good terms and everything. Saw my father regularly and whatnot. There's no issues there. Just trying to give the viewers and the listeners a bit of background as to who I am.
Of course.
Not to disrespect my parents at all. So my father was the person that chose my name. And that's what baffles people, when I tell them that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my mother had chosen a name for me that...
and it wasn't Jimmy?
It wasn't Jimmy.
No.
It wasn't Imran either. She'd said to my father... whilst my mother was in recovery after giving birth, she said to my father, go down to the registry office. This is what my mother tells me, so I believe her, of course.
Okay.
And register Imran. I've never asked my dad. I'm sure he'll have a different version of events. Or he might just laugh and say, yeah, she's right. So, yeah, my father took me to the registry office and basically decided on the way there that he really likes Imran Khan, the cricket player, and he'd like me to be a cricket player or a football player.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And my father's not in the slight bit racist. My father's very open-minded from a background of...
I was named after a cricket player as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Ramiz Raja.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a nice name. So, yeah, there you go. So my father was like, okay, I'm going to call him Imran. And got home and broke the news to my mum, and Imran's a popular Pakistani name anyway.
Yep.
And then my grandparents were like really happy with it as well on my mother's side, so it was like, fine, Imran's going to stick. Although Imran isn't necessarily what I look like, which was fun and games growing up. Ginger and Imran. Yeah, it was good. Not really. So yeah, that's that.
So that's question number one.
That's question number one. Let's not drag it on too much.
So question number two. Did your parents encourage you to be religious? Or I know you spoke about the fact that they raised you with values and morals.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But did they encourage you to, for example, read the Quran or read the Bible or any kind of religious text?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So starting with my father first, I touched on the fact that my father's quite open-minded.
Sure.
So just to give a bit, because I think it's quite relevant to touch on him, my father was never encouraging me in any direction.
Okay.
In that sense. What my father was all about is, like, my father's best... You got to remember, my father's 60 years old, so he's coming from a generation where racism was widespread in this country.
Okay.
My father I've never heard my father, even in anger or anything, even use anything like a racist term.
Really?
Even close to a generalization.
Okay.
About anybody's religion or about anybody's race. Like, my father's best friend growing up was someone of Jamaican descent, who was same kind of age group as him, and they were friends for as long as I can remember. And then, but my father just always had a mixture of friends, Asians, but not just one particular set of Asians. He had Muhammad as a friend. He had, there was another friend he had. There was a Sikh friend that I forget his name. Hindu friends.
Okay.
Plus, obviously, he had like, of course, he had lots of by default English friends as well, or white friends, whatever you want to call it. But he was very diverse in his friendship group, to the extent where if he thought someone was racist, he would actually not speak to them.
Wow.
Although he was from that generation, he was very open-minded, which obviously allowed me to not be tainted with the small-mindedness. So I could look at different cultures openly and accept them. My dad's very left wing in terms of like, he's a Labour man and he's a worker. He's one of the labourers because, like I say, he comes from a very humble, difficult background in terms of economically, etc. And then my mother didn't really encourage me in that direction because, you know, she had made a choice not to really go in that direction herself.
Okay.
So I didn't really know a great deal about. I didn't really know anything about Islam, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Which is why I consider myself a convert, because I would say there was a point where I didn't believe in anything.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So how long have you been, quote unquote, practicing now?
Okay, so I am 31, as we said in the last episode.
Yes.
I'm going to say, coming on to 10 years.
10 years, wow.
But like with, the thing is,
does the community still consider you a new Muslim?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, I keep asking that question. At what point am I not a convert?
How long have you been Muslim? 10 years.
You're invited to the.
Welcome to Islam.
Yeah. You're invited to the new Muslim dinner. Yeah, that kind of thing.
You're going to really like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. But the thing with practicing, like for our non-Muslim viewers, they might not identify with this and kind of be like, what do you mean practicing? So like someone who's committed to Islam, who's someone who prays 5 times a day, etc., who doesn't, you know, commit some of the things that we consider not allowed, or, you know, what we'd say are sins, you know, drinking, or, you know, not being in a relationship outside of marriage and things like this.
Sure.
So it doesn't just happen overnight. So it's a gradual thing for me, but I would say, I'm guessing, it's something like 9 or 10 years. 9 or 10 years. Yeah,
okay.
and then it progresses. So you start off where, you know, you're praying here and there, and, you know, you're sort of trying to change your life, and some of that you do sort of end up changing your friendship circle a little as well.
Sure.
By nature. Sorry, that's a phone in the background.
No,
apologies.
That's fine.
Apologies to listeners and viewers. And yeah, so on and off about 9 or 10 years, I reckon, as in give or take.
Okay. And what made you look into it? What made you want to be more religious?
Yeah. So September 11.
Really?
So I was talking about this last night with my wife and her nephew. I think September, and we can maybe discuss this on another episode.
Yes.
I think September 11 was where everything changed for Muslims in Britain.
I agree.
But I also think it opened the doors for lots of different people to look at the religion in a different way. So obviously, you know, when September 11 happened, if you actually look at it mathematically, me and you would have still been teenagers.
Yes.
Wouldn't necessarily. Well, I was starting to become politically turned on around 16, 17, but not anywhere serious. I was still forming opinions.
Yeah.
And Islam's one of the things that came across my eyes. And of course, I knew that my name's Imran, and why is my name Imran? And I started to ask these questions of myself more than anything. And what am I, and who am I, and where do I belong? And my middle name's Mohammed.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, but like obviously you don't really tend to use your middle name, but my middle name's Mohammed.
Okay.
So naturally that sparked something in me. And over late teenage years, like 17, 18, 19, probably about 18, 19 actually.
Sure.
20, I started to read bits and bobs. And at that same time in my life, I just happened to meet Muslims, like it wasn't planned, who I became friendly with. And we didn't even have a conscious conversation. It was more like a general here and there. I would see things or hear things, and maybe now and again they'd mention something to me, or I'd ask a question. But there was never like a hardcore conversion where someone was like, sat me down one day and said, "This is the truth, and you have to accept it."
Did you ever watch The Arrivals at one point?
I did watch The Arrivals. For anybody who doesn't know what The Arrivals is, don't watch it.
No, don't waste your time.
No, The Arrivals was like a YouTube series about like propaganda and conspiracy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. And
at the time,
it was made by these two Muslim guys, and there was obviously like a lot of very biased leanings that the answer to everything is kind of Islam, you know, and it was interesting. But no, so yeah, it was a gradual thing. I started to read here and there about Islam, and then I'd made the decision gradually, I'm going to implement this in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever have a tattoo on your neck?
I never had a tattoo on my neck. No. Now, some of our listeners and viewers will be asking why you asked that question. I know why you're asking that question.
Did you ever sell crack?
Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh, that sounds awful. No, I didn't. Careful where you go with that question as well. So no, I never sold drugs or had a tattoo on my neck. The typical convert story that I think both Muslims are very used to seeing, and I think non-Muslims are very used to seeing as well,
yeah,
is that if you're a Muslim and you've converted or reverted, however you want to say it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You're this really like troubled person in the past.
Exactly.
And you were like a gangster.
Exactly.
And you were like, and there's loads of that stuff on YouTube.
Unfortunately, there is a bit of a stereotype, isn't there? And,
there is a very big stereotype.
I'm taking the mickey, but, no,
we should talk about it seriously because there is a stereotype, and it is concerning because, there's a lot of information out there about like, how people converted and they used to do this and used to that. And by the way, if you have got a tattoo on your neck and you have done bad things in the past, yeah, of course you can change your life and you can be a good person and you can be a Muslim if you want to, right? You don't have to. It's up to you, right? But there's lots of people out there who are just like living regular lives. Like before I came Muslim, I was living a regular life. I had a full-time job. I've still got a full-time job. I ate 3 meals a day. I still eat 3 meals a day. I went to bed at a normal time, woke up at a normal time. I still do that. What I'm saying is that there's lots of normal people out there from reasonably normal backgrounds and they become Muslim. And it's not because they went through like a really difficult period or they were a gangster and they decided to change their life. Some people just look at things and decide it's for them.
Exactly.
And also one of the heartbreaking things, and it's a sad thing, and I think it's a bad advertisement for Islam to people who aren't Muslim and don't know about Muslims, is that the jails, unfortunately, they're full of like Muslims, or quote unquote, whether they are or not, they claim to be at least.
It's a sad situation.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's good for us to put out there that there's loads of people like me. It's not always a dramatic story with religion. It's actually, it's really what happens within religion that's important, and your relationship with religion and how you put that out there. And so, hopefully that's given a good account and it's a normal story. And Kyle, I hope you're happy with that. I'm sorry it wasn't more dramatic. And
last question.
Yeah.
Did you ever do music?
No, Ramiz, I didn't do music. In fact, it was you that did music.
You've put me on the spot now.
Well, that's the truth, mate. It wasn't me.
So Ramiz, say now.
Yeah, Ramiz used to do music, not me.
Story for another day.
And he's always been the Muslim guy.
Story for another day.
Okay, for another day.
I've still got it though.
Okay, if you say so.
Seriously, I have.
Ramiz is going to show us that he's still got it, apparently. He's going to belt out a song. Karaoke style.
I'm tempted.
So Ramiz, to give a bit of background, I'm not going to say too much, but Ramiz used to be involved in music a little bit. Yeah. When I met him, he was just kind of like putting a
I'm really tempted to put myself in the position of a chef and say, here's one I made earlier.
Go on then.
Okay,
so I think our viewers or listeners would appreciate it.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I do.
First of all, don't worry, the mixtape is not coming out later this year.
Why not?
Maybe the album. You won't see me featuring on anyone's song. But to be honest, okay, and I'm kind of going off track here, but I'll come back to your sort of original, not question, but statement.
Yeah.
I've always loved being creative.
Yeah.
Drawing, drama. I studied drama at college. I've always loved theatre, plays, writing, poetry, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So from time to time, I will just do a little freestyle in my head. So you've put me on the spot now, and I'm slightly pressured, but for the sake of our listeners, for the sake of keeping it entertaining, here it goes. I don't write spoken word, but it's about time I spoke some verses. And you can achieve what you want in life, but you need to focus first. And that's not a problem for me, because every day I wake up for Salatul Fajr. So for me, it's no concern, kid. Born and raised in Leicester, I'm a local person who's made a podcast that's going to strike like the postal service. And it's been almost a decade, but I can still spit real hits. I was a legend way before Will Smith. I used to roll with mans who dressed in black way before Will did. So bars wise, I'm still locked and loaded like a holster, man. So don't be surprised if I come and stick you up like a poster, man. For that bread, you be dead, I'll be toasting, man. What I said is a threat, I ain't joking, man. Still got love for the game. Like a newlywed couple still holding hands, but I'm not holding hands. Oh, so sweet like a cola can. I'm on it whenever. Son, I'll run circles round you. I'm Sonic, I'm better. I used to run rap and grime, 2-division champ, call me Conor McGregor. But now, I'm not a nasheed artist, so you won't see me keep talking about the government over some beatboxing. I need to be honest. I'm still a street artist. Got the streets watching. Man, I can do this with my eyes closed, sleepwalking. There we go.
That was brilliant, man. That was really, really good.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think that was fantastic.
Might need to decipher that over some time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really enjoyed that, man.
Thank you, man.
That was like a trip back down memory lane.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
man.
We'll talk about my story another day.
Yeah, definitely.
Today is all about you.
Oh, you're too kind.
I know.
No, that was good, Ramiz. And I think our viewers and listeners will enjoy that, man.
Thank you. I hope they
There's
do.
a couple of very funny lines in there as well.
Put some comments.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have some comments on Ramiz's freestyle.
Leave some comments and, we'll see what happens from there.
But you know what I want some comments from as well? I want some comments from Kyle.
Yes, I do. Because if he's not satisfied with the
freestyle, then what we'll do is we'll set up a battle rap, charity battle rap between Ramiz and Kyle Monroe.
Oh God.
No, but I don't know who Kyle Monroe is. But no, thank you, Kyle, for your question. And to our other subscribers, feel free to put some comments. And if we like your comments and we think it's a good thing, we'll run with that as a discussion point. So, moving on, because there was more than one thing we wanted to discuss this week.
Yes, that's true.
And shall I lead with the topic?
I think you should.
Okay. So for anybody, I think both our Muslim listeners and our listeners who aren't Muslim will know.
They should.
They'll know.
They should.
The guys who aren't Muslim will probably know one of them, and those who are Muslim will know both of them. So I think everybody listening to this has at least heard the name Tommy Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And before you switch off, this is not going to be a video like attacking Tommy Robinson.
No, it's not.
Because he's got a million of those to draw on already.
He has.
So he doesn't need another two. He doesn't need another couple of Muslim guys having a go at him.
The thing is with Tommy Robinson, right? Whenever I hear his name, whenever I hear Tommy Robinson, the only thing that comes to my mind is that whole video of him and Saiful Islam. Now, I'm not a fan of Saiful Islam, right? I don't know if you remember that.
The guy who hit him.
The guy who slapped him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really...
I don't know what he was thinking. But the whole thing was so theatrical.
Yeah, it kind of was, yeah.
So obviously he's driving through and, there's Saiful Islam.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, I'll pull up and I'll get into an argument with him, knowing that he's a nutcase.
Knowing that the other guy is,
a complete, lunatic.
Exactly. Hey, Tommy, I want to talk to you. Well, you racist, yeah? You fascist, yeah? You saying things about Muslims, yeah? Hadouken!
Yeah. Slapped him. And then Tommy drove off.
So, to be honest, again, I'm not too sure of the exact situation. It seemed a bit scripted.
Yeah, maybe.
Just my...
Yeah, as in scripted or not, even if something's not scripted, like, you can go and find controversy if you want to.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I'm not saying...
But for people probably do know Tom Robinson is from other things as well. He's EDL, he's the founder of the EDL and the leader of the EDL, the self-appointed founder and leader and everything else. And like I say, I'm not going to bash Tom Robinson.
Did you say self-appointed?
Yeah.
I know another leader who's self-appointed, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't want to, go on about that too much.
No.
I think it kind of, what he does, it speaks for itself anyway. If you like that kind of thing and you're into that, you probably won't like us just before we've even opened our mouths.
That's true.
But there's something that happened recently, and I hate to say it, not hate to say it, but I think sometimes there has to be a certain perspective given on things, even if you don't like someone. So recently, you know the incident. A lot of friends of mine have seen this and heard it, so I thought it would be a good thing to talk about. And I think it's kind of gone viral on the internet to some extent.
We spoke about it very briefly last week.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this Muslim YouTuber called Ali Dawah. I don't know Ali Dawah. He's from London or whatever. He's got a big following. He does like debates and, goes out and does videos about Muslims and all sorts of stuff. I don't follow him. So, but I've seen him throughout the years in passing, right? Seen bits and bobs here and there. Nothing against the brother, but just not my cup of tea, to tell you the truth. Not my demographic, I think.
Okay.
But nothing against him whatsoever. Nothing bad to say about him at all. Just not my cup of tea. Right? And then, obviously, I know who Tommy Robinson is, and I've seen a equally amount of his material over the years and what he's saying and all the rest of it. Anyway, what's happened is Tommy Robinson's done a book about Muslims, about, I'm not even going to say what the book's called.
No point.
I'm not going to promote his book, and I've kind of, I'm not going to like blaspheme. So anyway, he's done this book about Islam or whatever. Okay. And, naturally he's right, he's writing, against an attack against Islam or whatever. Fine. That's his business. He's entitled to his opinion. Anyway, he's been saying lots and lots of different things, as everyone knows, about Muslims and about Islam and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Ali Dawah has taken it upon himself to, try and track Tommy Robinson down and, have a debate with him and have him call him out on all these things he's been saying.
Yes.
What that's meant to achieve, I don't know. Anyway, right? What we do know about Tommy Robinson, unfortunately, is that however much we dislike what he says, the guy's had death threats.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, like, no one should get death threats.
No.
No one should have their family being threatened to kill and all the rest of it. And I'm not like sat here believing Tommy Robinson, because for the people who don't like Tommy Robinson, they're going to be like, brother, you're sticking up for Tommy Robinson. I'm not sticking up for anybody here. I'm just saying that is factual. It has happened. It's well known. And that's why he's able to publicize it, as to always say, look how bad Muslims are. I mean, they keep telling me they want to kill me and my kids.
To come back.
And by the way, I'm not, just before we carry on,
go on.
I'm not saying Ali Dawah threatened to kill him.
No.
Because there's way more to this story. We're going to talk about it more. But before we do, just for the context, the guy has had death threats.
No, he has. He has.
And I'm not sticking up for Tommy Robinson.
No.
But I think fair's fair, isn't it?
A couple of things I want to say before we get started and before we really get stuck into the topic, and we'll try and break it down as much as we can. Firstly, theologically, Muslims are meant to be people who are balanced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So we're not on this extreme. We're not on that extreme. We're in the middle.
Yeah.
Whether we're discussing oppression against Muslims, against non-Muslims, Muslims theologically should have a very balanced approach.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's from the religion, to be balanced.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So that's the first thing. We're going to try and give a balanced point of view.
Yeah.
Secondly, talking about the two extremes, you've got, on one side, you've got Tommy's following, egging him on.
Yeah.
Go on, Tommy. Yeah, you showed that Muslim, you had him up, you did us proud.
Yeah.
Equally, on the other side, you've got the same thing with Ali Dawah's following. And I've got nothing against the guy.
Yeah.
Right? But I've got something against people cheering for the sake of cheering.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right?
We're on this team or that team.
Exactly.
Not looking at the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Man. So what I'm hoping to do with you, over the next 20, 30 minutes, however long we have, is to give a different perspective. And I think we need an alternative.
No, we do need to give a different perspective. And I can't emphasize how important it is to give a different perspective. That said, I've got roast chicken in the oven, so I don't want that to overcook. So, okay, we need to sort out the problems with Islamophobia. But look, at the end of the day, I want to have dinner tonight that tastes all right. So there's a balance to be struck. No, but look, going back to this issue. So look, so now listener, viewer, this guy, Tommy Robinson, the guy gets death threats from Muslims.
Yes.
And it's irrefutable. Like, he has had death threats.
Yes.
And people have tried to attack him in the street and all the rest of it. And no doubt, I'm sure some people who claim to be Tommy Robinson supporters say some foul things on Twitter and all the rest of it, right? And so it goes both ways. I understand that. As far as I'm aware, Ali Dawah hasn't had death threats. As far as I'm aware. And if Ali Dawah has had death threats, of course, we equally say that's horrible.
Exactly.
For anybody to have death threats or be their family to be threatened or anything like that. Yeah?
Exactly.
Because of an opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, ultimately, this is what it is. Anyway, Ali Dawah's been trying to track him down to debate him. Fine, I ain't got a problem with that. Try and, if someone said something and you want to debate them, fine, you try and find them and debate them. Okay, fine.
Do you think a debate is appropriate?
We can come to that. We can come to that.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, in a free country, someone says something, you really don't agree with it, they've publicized it, so equally, you're publicizing that you don't like it. If that person doesn't agree to debate you, you maybe want to try and find them to debate them. I get that to an extent. What Ali Dawah's done is, and anyone can go on YouTube and they can judge for themselves. The guy, from his own video, so it's not like an edited video, rings Tommy Robinson. I don't know how he's got hold of Tommy Robinson's number, which is kind of a problem as it is, yeah? Because if you know that someone's diametrically opposed to everything you're about, and they don't know who you are from Adam, they might know you from social media, but they don't know you, innit? Somehow you've got their number and you ring them. That's already a problem. Like, when we come off this podcast and I get some call from a guy who doesn't like Muslims and he rings me and he starts saying he wants to debate me, I'm not going to be too obliging with him. I'm more than anything, I'm going to be concerned why you got my number, and two, I'm probably going to say something to him that isn't really, fit for public consumption, right?
Nice.
So he's rang Tommy Robinson and he's like, Tommy, it's me, Ali Dawah. And I'm paraphrasing, I want to debate you, etc. And Tommy's like, yeah, whatever, Ali, blah, blah, blah. And I know. And I think Ali Dawah, and Ali has to admit this, he kind of got gassed, man. He got gassed. So? He got gassed, bro. And that's fine. Bobs, yeah. In my opinion, he got gassed. And Muslims can come and tell me off now. I'm probably going to get a backlash from this, right? We won't be a third episode of the podcast. But no, he got a bit gassed because it's Tommy Robinson and he's like, enemy number one to the Muslims, apparently, right? So he's like, Tommy, I think to try and get Tommy into a discussion about debating, he dropped the most stupid thing you could say to somebody, full stop. I don't care what walk of life you are, how placid you are. He goes, I know where you live. And then, so he's saying that to someone who thinks all the Muslims are jihadis and are crazy terrorists and has had death threats and who's probably paranoid and probably, like, loads of Muslims probably say things to him daily. He's ringing him out of the blue like a cold call saying, I know where you live, right? And
I saw that bit.
Yeah. And then Tommy Robinson goes, okay, where do I live? Or it's actually, let's do it justice. Tommy Robinson then used some profanity, if I'm not mistaken, and said, like, if you come to my door, basically I'll kill you. Yeah? And you don't know where I live anyway, kind of thing. Called his bluff. And Ali Dawah, I'm not going to say it. There's no need to say it.
No, there isn't.
I'm not going to, Ali Dawah said on a public YouTube clip, the number of this guy's address, right? Why you would do that and then publish it, I don't know, yeah? To which Tommy Robinson went berserk, yeah? And he's like swearing at him and saying you're an idiot and this and that. And the thing is, that's where it goes beyond two people who have a bad opinion and it just goes into something next level. Because you've got kids, and if some next level guy rings you and he's like, if you don't debate me, I'm going to come to your door with cameras and this and that. I'm going to come to your door with 5 guys.
It's very confrontational.
You ain't going to sit there and be like, oh, okay, no problem. You're going to say something to him.
Exactly. You're not going to say, how would you like
You're not going to say, yeah, okay, I'll put the kettle on.
Exactly.
You're not, right?
Exactly.
So, and what are you expecting through ringing Tommy Robinson anyway? Like, what are you expecting? Like, if someone gave me Tommy Robinson's number now and they could say, you can ring Tommy Robinson, he's ready for a chat with you, I wouldn't ring him. What's there to say? What is there to say?
Nothing.
That guy has made his mind up about us, and the worst thing you can do is continue to make him, continue to encourage him in his bad thoughts.
Just aggravate him.
By aggravating him and ringing him like that. So anyway, the conversation goes back and forth, basically. It becomes a bit of a swearing match. But to be fair, Ali doesn't swear. Tommy swears. But they're both bringing up personal things about each other that could be gossip. And to be honest, I'm not going to raise those things either because they're irrelevant. Like, it's not my business. I don't really care about Tom Robinson's life. I don't really care about Ali Dawah's personal life or it's not my business. So I want my personal life on the internet, all right? Except on vlogcast form. Right. In which case, yeah. So, anyway, the call kind of, basically, Tom Robinson offers him, says like, look, let's have a debate and a boxing match on the same night. And Ali Dawah, I'm sorry, Ali, but, you should have just accepted it.
Mm.
Because you've put yourself in that situation where you've rang a guy who is a rough and ready kind of character, who doesn't like Islam, who probably doesn't really like most Muslims, at least, the majority of us, unless like we denounce everything about Islam that he finds a problem, which we can come on to all, we can talk about what he says briefly. But Ali Dawah basically flapped out of the boxing match. And I'm sorry, Ali, like you're my Muslim brother, and if I saw you, I'd shake your hand.
I'll shake your hand like a vegan.
Yeah, I'd shake your hand because you're Ali Dawah. Yeah, but like you should have just said yes to the boxing match, because you knew picking up the phone that you're not going to pick up the phone and it's going to be like a nice cordial chat. It's not going to happen, is it?
No.
But what's your thoughts? What's your take on it? Like, I've rambled on enough.
Okay.
And you can give your perspective, because maybe you feel differently to me. I don't know.
Do I feel differently? Okay. So I'll come at it from a different angle.
Okay.
Really focusing on the foundation. What are both parties expecting from the debate? As in, you've got two parties.
Yeah.
Who have made up their minds about their path. They've chosen a particular path.
Yeah.
They've chosen a particular ideology, and they live according to the manifestation of that ideology.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So you're not going to get someone from the KKK ringing, let's say a member of the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
Saying, I would like to have a civilized discussion.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Regarding whatever it is.
Yeah.
Firstly, you need to ask yourself, what is the point of the debate?
Yeah, okay? Of course, yeah.
And this is, I'm not judging anyone's intention, but I will say this. Does either party sincerely believe that they're going to bring about change through debating, discussing?
Yeah.
And I would say no. Right? Tommy Robinson is not going to convince Ali Dawah to leave Islam.
Yeah.
Equally, Ali Dawah is not going to convince Tommy Robinson
to become a Muslim. He's probably not even going to convince Tommy Robinson to move 1 inch the other way away from his opinions about Muslims.
Exactly.
Forget becoming Muslim. Just, I'll give you an example. Those guys like Tommy Robinson and people like him who, have a problem with Islam, they don't even accept context.
Exactly.
Everything in religion, everything in our religion is about context. So there's some things that, and we can maybe do this discussion one day, although we don't want it, we said from the start, we're not like religious scholars or something. But there are a lot of things in Islam that on the face of it, a lot of people feel that are incompatible with the West and all this kind of stuff. But everything's contextual. And when you understand things in context, right? Let's do a really simple example of context. You're an English teacher, so you will understand this. Someone walks into this room right now and I say as they're walking in the room, Ramiz, I could kill you. And I say it with a straight face. Their version of events is that there was no context. He threatened to kill him. And that person walks out and tells everybody else, no, that Imran, he's a nutcase. He threatened to kill Ramiz. And Ramiz and me are saying, no, we've got a really sarcastic sense of humor. And Ramiz said something really sarcastic to me. And I said, I could kill you.
I'll give you a simpler. I'll give you a simpler context.
Yeah. Okay.
So, is lying good or bad?
It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I come to you and I point a gun at you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say, tell me where you live.
Yeah.
You're going to lie?
Of course.
Of course, you're not going to give your address.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, this is the problem when we take things out of context.
We take things out of context and out of their situational. Out of circumstances as well.
Exactly.
So, like, what were the circumstances and context of this particular thing that you have an issue with? So
here's a problem I have with debates. Okay, debating. Period. Whether it's an atheist against
a non-atheist.
Exactly.
Or whatever it may be.
Exactly. The problem I have with that setting is that the whole thing just becomes an egotistical battle. right? I want to get the last say. You know,
Well,
I want to, you know, enforce my control, my dominance.
It's usually two aggressive guys, bro.
Of course.
Like, as in Ali Dawah, you know, the guy's animated, he's loud, he would come across as quite a confident guy. He speaks very loud, you know, he's very passionate. Tommy Robinson equally is well known, or at least he talks, you know, I'm going to say that, I grew up around people like Tommy Robinson, right? So I can spot people pretty well. I'm going to say, and people can roast me for that as well if they want, that he's probably quite a rough and ready guy. He's pretty, like, straightforward, kind of alpha male type character. He doesn't mince his words. He says what he thinks about Muslims. And he's also, like, going to be the same kind of person in a debate. They're not, like, Tommy Robinson and Ali Dawah, you put them in a room to debate. Like,
it's not going to be
It's not going to be a debate. It's going to become, like, this whole shouting match, basically.
Of course.
And then afterwards, they'll beat each other up in a boxing ring for charity. Like, I mean, you know, I don't really understand the point of that, other than to make Muslims and people who don't know about Islam more confused about each other. So, like, Tommy Robinson's the self-appointed defender of England.
Self-appointed.
And I'm not, that's not me bashing him.
No,
he said that himself. I'm the leader of the English Defence League. So he's the leader of the people who will defend England. Okay, fine. Ali Dawah is a self-appointed, not my words, Dawah man. He is Ali, the person who is defined by Dawah. For our listeners who don't know what Dawah is, because we've said it like a bunch of times now, Dawah is like invitation. Yes. And in an Islamic context, invitation to become Muslim.
Yep.
So you've got...
And for the Urdu-speaking crowd, Dawat.
Dawat. Yeah, there you go. You just changed the H for a T.
Exactly.
But basically, an Islamic invitation, or, you know, evangelist, or whatever you want to say. Yeah? So you've got the guy who has removed his real second name and replaced it with Ali, the inviter to Islam. Yeah, literally. Yes. I'm not having a go. That's what he's calling himself.
I know.
And the guy who's said that he's the head of something that he wants to defend England. He wants to defend England from Muslims. You're cold calling that guy. It's like Winston Churchill cold calling Hitler. Okay, no, fair enough. I mean, you know, that's probably a little bit of an extreme, you know, example.
It is. But
I think people get what I'm trying to say.
I get your point.
Like, what are you hoping to achieve out of that?
And the other thing I want to emphasize very quickly is that...
Although Winston Churchill did nearly do a deal with him, but that's another topic for another day.
For both parties,
yeah.
I'm sure you'll get non-Muslims who will say, and do say, that Tommy Robinson does not represent us. Equally, I'm sure there are people in the Muslim community who will say that Ali Dawah is not the spokesman.
Of course he isn't.
You know, and
to be fair, I'm not sure he's saying that he is.
No, he's not. But for the people out there watching our vlogcast, you know, don't take one person as a complete representative
of anything.
Of anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Of a concept, of an ideology, of a religion, of a movement. You know, these are just people with opinions. Treat them as people with opinions.
Yeah, it's like what? Like, I'm not in any camp. You're not in any camp.
No.
That's how we are. Cause
actually, I'm in the MMA camp.
Yeah, you're in the MMA camp.
Yeah.
But as in, like, generally.
No, I get you.
If someone's got an opinion and you don't like it, in this instance, Tommy Robinson, either look at what he's saying.
I don't mean to change the topic, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
But I'll put it like this. So I remember traveling once, coming back to when I was working in Saudi.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as you know, I've worked in China, I've worked in Saudi, doing contractual bits and bobs. Okay. Teaching, managing. So I remember I was at the airport once and I got talking to a random person. I do that sometimes. I just, you know, you kind of like to pass time and speak to people around you. So I remember coming across a lady and just striking a conversation. And I was asking her, you know, where are you off to? And she said, oh, where are you off to? And I said, I'm off to Saudi Arabia to work. And she said to me, oh, I'm too much of a feminist to go to Saudi Arabia. Don't go then.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Don't go.
I'm not going to have a debate with her.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to make a video about it.
Like, you want to make a point. Like,
exactly.
Okay, fine, exactly. Don't go.
The thing is, look, like I said, I'm sure I said this last week, just live and let live. You acknowledge that there are people in society who are not going to completely agree with
what you're about,
what defines you.
Yeah.
Okay. The best thing you can do in that situation, right? The best thing you can do is just speak through your actions. Show them that you're not confrontational.
Yeah.
Show them that you're contributing to society. Show them that you're working and you're paying your taxes and you're helping people from other backgrounds and other walks of life. Just show them through action. And I'm not saying don't speak to people, because there's a time and there's a place.
Yeah,
now,
of course.
I have encountered a number of people from Tommy's background. And, I'll give you an example. So where my mum lives, so my grandparents came to the UK in the early 70s. And as you mentioned earlier, that there was, an issue with
race and stuff.
Exactly,
yeah, definitely.
Exactly. And there was, on my mum's street, overtly, a member of, the BNP or whatever they were called back then.
Yeah.
And over time, my granddad and the head of that house, they became friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I see his son now, he'll always ask me, how I am and how's the family. And he's super, super polite. If you were to look at him, right, you would brand him as someone from the EDL or from that far right movement. The point I'm trying to make is it's about building relationships before you speak to people about,
exactly.
dense subjects.
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
have to build the relationship first.
Exactly.
But if I approached him on a normal day and I don't know him, he's going to tell me to get lost.
Yeah,
Mate,
of course.
I don't know you.
It's going to take you to run and jump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what I would do, again, we're all about putting out solutions. Have conversations with people.
Yeah.
Not straight away, okay? And this is why I know your take on this, but my take on this as well. With the whole, Dawah invitation table, that whole, being in town with leaflets and stuff like that. I think we need to change our
approach.
We need to change our approach. We need to change our setting. And I guess what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is we should focus on building relationships through giving food, through smiling, through asking people how they are, just a little hello. And even if they ignore you, you just have to be persistent, consistent,
life's about relationships.
Exactly.
And going back to this issue of the Ali Dawah, Tom Robinson controversy,
yes.
I think we've devoted a fair bit of time to it, and hopefully we've given it a fair account. Like, like you say about building relationships, you're ringing a guy to start a debate with him. You've never even met the guy and tried to shake his hand and said, look, I'm Ali Dawah. Anyway, I'm Ali, whatever, insert surname, real name. And, be good to know what your concerns are and if we can have a chat sometime. Like, I'm pretty sure you've not even done that.
No.
Like, as in, and I'm saying this, and a lot of Muslims watching this and hearing this are going to be like, why is he bashing Ali? Why is he siding with Tommy Robinson?
It's not about
I'm not siding. I'm not about siding with anyone. But number one, I can't say anything that's going to have an effect on Tommy Robinson.
No.
Right? Number two, like, a person like Ali Dawah, whether we like it or not, does by default sometimes become a representation of Muslims. So my conclusion on this would be, Ali Dawah, don't cold call people who hate Muslims and expect them to take to that kindly. And then give their addresses out in public. And
if you do, just make sure you're very good at selling.
Yeah, and pretend it's not your fault. Right? I mean, maybe you're not pretending it's your fault, but act as if there's not an issue with that. And number two, if you're Muslim and you don't like something someone says, don't give them a death threat. Because people say things I don't like all the time. I don't then send them messages saying I want to kill you and your family.
No.
I just ignore them. Or if I can, I try and speak to them about why they feel that way.
Very quickly, okay, I know we've spent a fair bit of time on this topic.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video of Tommy chasing after the mentally
ill person who was saying really horrible stuff?
No, he was mentally ill.
No, of course he was.
He was mentally ill. And you know, the one thing I found...
I'm going to say something in defense of Ali on this, by the way. But go on.
Okay. No, but what I do want to say, okay, what I do want to say, because I just found this, again, I found it so comical. So did you watch this? So he chased him down.
Yeah, I chased him.
Right? And he said on the video that, look, mate, I'm not going to hurt you. In Tommy's defense, he said, I'm not going to hurt you. You know, you clearly have, I don't know why I'm laughing, but because the way
it was just such a weird,
very strange.
It was
very strange.
It was so weird, bro.
He said, I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm not going to hurt you because I know you've got mental issues, but mate, you need to sort them out. You need to, you need to sort them out. And, he says to him, so who radicalized you? And he said, Ali Dawah. I knew it!
Yeah.
I knew it.
That's what I was going to say. Like, look, you know, for what it's worth, if Tommy Robinson or any of his supporters even come across this podcast, look, like, on one hand, and I'm going to kind of defend Ali here indirectly, on one hand, everything that Ali did in terms of giving out addresses and all that stuff was absolutely stupid. Let's just say it how it was. Let's not hold back. It was stupid, right? Very stupid and very careless, yeah? On the other hand, if you've recognized someone's mentally ill, you can't expect them to kind of be a voice of reason. So if they blame it on Ali, you can hardly sit there when someone who's completely out of their head and I expect everyone to go, look, there's someone who's been groomed by like Ali Dawah. So, I don't think that, again, like, what does that do any good? Like,
no.
The guy's just mentally ill. He could have watched any number of things.
No one is going to argue that he's well. No.
Oh, the guy.
Exactly.
He's mentally ill.
Everyone will be able to.
The thing is, that guy, he could have watched anything and can't onto any idea.
I know.
He's schizophrenic. The poor guy had schizophrenia.
You can tell.
Completely unwell. Fine. He's been on YouTube and the latest thing trending is this Ali Dawah, Tommy Robinson thing. There could have been a different thing involving Muslims and he would have had that opinion. The guy was just not well. But this, I think the lesson to be learned, and I'm not going to try and say anything to Tommy Robinson. What's the point?
No.
Like, he wouldn't listen to us anyway.
No.
But the lesson to be learned for us and Muslim YouTubers, we're kind of Muslim YouTubers, I suppose.
I guess so.
So if Ali wants to take our advice, for what it's worth, if you feel that, you know, we're giving a fair account, and anybody who's on the side of anybody else, like, just think before you do something, man. Like, we're here to have a good time. We said sometimes it'll be serious, sometimes it'll be a good time. But there's certain things we're just not going to do. We're not going to do stunts and crazy, like, you know, don't do crazy things like that and expect there to be no ramifications.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially something as serious as this.
And it is a very serious topic. Very sensitive topic.
Yeah, it is,
People tend to get very emotional.
As in, I would like this to be the last time that we really, you know, mention...
both parties?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point? You know, leave them to do what they're doing. They've got a massive following and everything else. You know, I just thought it was worth giving because it's been I think it's been quite a big story and I've had lots of people talking about it and lots of perspectives.
So if you were to boil it down to 3 points, what would be your advice for people who are watching the vlogcast?
Use your common sense.
Okay.
If you want to debate somebody and you don't agree with them, try and strike up some sort of relationship with them on a basic human level before you do that, because everyone's partial to a cup of tea and a biscuit. Right? And number 3, don't expect there to be changes in people who are very clear that they've made their mind up. You know, sometimes it's better to just walk away and put your ego in your back pocket for another day. Because a lot of it's ego, in my opinion. Of
course it is.
It's people wanting to be right and wanting to prove others wrong. And a lot of the time, that just doesn't work.
No, completely agree with you. I know we've been talking on a very serious note for the last, I'd say, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So for the next 10, 15 minutes, let's lighten it up a little bit.
Okay, let's lighten the load. You go first.
I'll go first. Okay. So what have you been up to this week? No, we can't do that. We can't dedicate the same section for the same thing.
Same old, bro.
Same old.
No, to be fair, this week has been different. So I went and got a massage. Ooh. No.
Do I want to hear the rest of this story?
Yeah. I went and got a massage from a guy called Mohammed Yassin, who is a sports massage therapist.
Top man.
Yeah, and really good.
Yep.
He was like, it wasn't a massage in the way that person imagines one. It was like a sports massage, and he was like pressing in on my muscles and like really like digging his fingers into my tendons and
Sorting you out.
sorting me out. Yeah, because I
Yep.
just had a bit of tightness.
Yeah.
That was really good. It was quite an experience, and you've been to him before, so you recommended him.
Yes, I did. I endorsed him and his services.
That's it. And then I've been taking a break this week, so I thought it'd be a good time to just let the body add a bit of tightness, let it heal a little bit and relax a little bit and not do any training this week for the first week in a long time. Other than that, travelling to Liverpool tomorrow, early in the morning. Just got Instagram for the first time. So
Yeah.
getting to grips with how to even use that.
Yeah.
Been posting stuff about the podcast
Yeah.
and liking trainers and liking Riaz Khan pictures. And yeah, that's me. Oh, guilty confession. For the past few weeks now, I've got back into EastEnders.
Oh God.
After not watching EastEnders for probably over 10 years. Probably since I was at home as like a teenager / little kid with my mum. I don't know why. Me and my wife decided to watch it for a joke.
Man.
And
You
we've
got into it.
we're both now hooked on it.
You're actually hooked.
Yeah. As in, I want to have it on over dinner when we finish speaking.
I'm not sure how that affects
I'm just
our
going to go out there.
relationship.
I'm going to confess the kind of person that I am, okay? I'm going to go down, eat my roast chicken on my lap, and watch EastEnders.
I don't think
I
we-
admit it.
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Well, I've found myself saying that to people in the past. Anyway, Ramiz, what about you?
I've not been watching EastEnders.
All right. Oh, la-di-da. What are you? High Brass, Coronation Street, Emmerdale Farm. Think you're better than me, do you? What have you been watching?
Okay. To lighten the mood, I just finished season 2 of Narcos.
Oh, yeah. Escobar, right?
Pablo Escobar, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Right.
guy.
Crazy.
That,
Absolute nutter.
yeah.
Absolute nutter. But no, I finished season 2, so I don't want to ruin it for people. But I don't think I'll watch the 3rd season because it's...
Because he dies at the end. Oh, no, he does. I haven't seen it.
But that's a fact.
Is there a 3rd season?
There is.
Oh, okay.
But the focus is another party.
Oops.
the focus is another party. Maybe I'll put a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. No, so...
Yeah, what else have I been doing? I learnt a whole bunch of Spanish swear words because of Narcos.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We don't repeat them on
Of
air.
course not. No,
Yeah.
of course not.
Yeah.
Not. What else have I been doing? Been busy with the vlogcast.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of work
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
behind the scenes.
I've been doing nothing.
No, that's not totally. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. I sent you a couple of WhatsApps and that's kind of it.
No, that's fine.
Like,
that's
yeah,
fine.
Ramiz, that sounds fantastic. Okay, take care. Yeah, be good in that resolution. Bye. Yeah. EastEnders is on.
What else have I been doing? Marking. So I mentioned marking last week. There's a lot of marking to do. There's still a lot of marking to do.
Yeah.
A lot of corrections to make on students' essays, syntax, vocabulary, punctuation, boring stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I've still got around 45 papers to mark.
Wow.
Each paper takes about 20 minutes,
Wow.
and it all has to be done online. That's basically anything else. The massage, yes, the massage. I've not, we didn't go together.
No.
No, we didn't go together. But shout out to Muhammad Yasin.
Yeah, man.
Because
Nous therapy. Is it Nous or Nous?
I still don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay.
It's Nous or Nous or...
NOUS therapy, London Road.
Yes.
Check it out.
Check it out. And if anyone's interested, if anyone's having any problems with their shoulders, with their back, with their legs through training, through, working yourself too much, or you've been weightlifting for X amount of time and you've never had a sports massage, I recommend you go to him.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Because I don't know if I told you, but for a good few months I had an issue with my rotator cuffs.
Yeah.
And one session, mate, sorted it out.
Yeah, I feel a lot better from it.
Sorted it out.
And he just showed me, he explained something to me, and I thought it was my back, and it actually wasn't anything to do with my back.
Was it your hip flexors?
No, nothing to do with my hip flexors. He gave me a good MOT and said that I'm fine. Like, I mean,
Really?
Yeah, I felt quite invigorated afterwards.
Nice.
But it was just a little bit of tightness in the front. but I don't feel tight in the front at all.
No.
So he just said he just kind of opened up. Basically, he opened me up at the front a little bit, and he said that will relieve some pressure. I had a little bit of pressure in my back, and then I'm just going to make sure I do some regular
stretching,
a couple of regular stretches that I wasn't doing as much as I probably should. That was it. And he spent a long time, and he was good. I did feel vulnerable. It's the first time I've had a massage, and I did feel vulnerable because it was just me and another guy in a room, really quiet. And like, I was trying to make small talk and stuff, because I was delaying the inevitable. And then he was, like, obviously he didn't want to say, because I think he could see that I felt uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, so if you just want to like get on the leather bed thing, which, obviously in a lot of instances.
Did he have any soothing music playing in the back?
No soothing music, which was kind of worse, to be honest. At least if there'd been music, I could have drowned out my awkwardness. So I unbuttoned my shirt and kept my trousers and socks on. And then climbed up onto his leather settee thing, face down, which immediately made me feel very alarmed and very uncomfortable. Right, and then he got out the oil and he went to work, and this innuendo central, innit? And then that's it. I felt much better afterwards.
Was it coconut oil?
Yeah, I came out of there feeling $1 million. It wasn't coconut oil, it was regular olive oil.
Ah!
Yeah. But no, he was very reassuring. He made me feel at ease. I've actually felt comfortable with him.
No,
He's No, he was good. We were having a good laugh.
Guy.
I was taking the mickey out of him a lot. Yeah. Like, as in
sounds like you.
Yeah, as in like I was saying, I was making fun of his diet and everything else. And then we actually had some serious discussion about that stuff. And I learned a little bit. And so I felt reassured as well, because he's properly qualified and all that. He's not just like watched a YouTube tutorial about how to give massages. Or at least that's what he told me. So, that was it, man. It was fantastic. And I don't know if we should end our most recent episode on massages. But yeah, probably a good place to stop.
I think so. And we're on iTunes now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, we're on iTunes. So for all our listeners and viewers, we're on iTunes. Okay, so all they need to do is just go on iTunes, podcasts, write The Attic, and we'll come up. So make sure you support us on iTunes. There's also a website. Okay. As usual, I'm acting like it's a regular thing. I've only done it once. So under this video, I'll put the link of the website. And support us. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We've got the website, iTunes. Support us, share, and like the video.
Yeah, please.
Like the video. Even if you dislike the video, engage with it.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback.
Give us some comments. Troll us. Like it. Subscribe to it. Carl Monroe, I hope you're happy. And we're good to go. You'll hopefully be listening to this, watching this in the pleasure of somewhere safe and warm. And enjoying another hour and a bit of me and Ramiz.
Yes.
Fantastic. Right, I better go. My roast chicken's bad.
Okay. Bye.